Welcome to Sleepy Secrets. Tonight, we'll gently journey across thousands of years to explore civilizations that once flourished and then quietly disappeared into history. So settle in, relax, and let the ancient world slowly carry you toward a peaceful night's sleep. Long before modern cities, before highways, before skyscrapers, people built remarkable civilizations. They raised enormous stone monuments, created beautiful works of art, developed writing, observed the stars, and transformed the landscapes around them. Some of these civilizations lasted for thousands of years. Others vanished, leaving behind only silent ruins and unanswered questions. Today, their temples remain empty. Their streets are quiet. Their palaces stand without kings. Yet every weathered stone still holds a story of ordinary people who lived, worked, laughed, dreamed, and hoped, just as we do today. Our journey begins more than 11,000 years ago, at a place older than Stonehenge, older than the Great Pyramids, a place so unexpected that it completely changed what historians believed about the beginning of civilization. Hidden beneath a quiet hill, in what is now southeastern Turkey, lies one of the oldest monumental sites ever discovered. Its name is Göbekli Tepe. For thousands of years, the hill appeared completely ordinary, covered with soil, wild grass, and scattered stones. Nothing suggested that beneath the ground stood one of humanity's greatest archaeological discoveries. Local farmers passed by it. Animals grazed nearby. Seasons quietly came and went. The ancient monument slept peacefully beneath the earth. Everything changed. During the 20th century, archaeologists began carefully removing the soil, one layer at a time. Slowly, massive stone pillars emerged, each carved from solid limestone, some weighing more than 16 tons. Many decorated with beautifully carved animals, foxes, snakes, wild boars, birds, scorpions. Each carving remained astonishingly detailed, despite surviving for more than 11,000 years. What surprised researchers most was not the size of the pillars. It was their age. Göbekli Tepe existed long before farming became widespread, long before cities, long before metal tools. Its builders were likely hunter-gatherers. People once believed such societies could never organize projects of this scale. Göbekli Tepe quietly proved otherwise. The great stone circles were arranged with remarkable precision. Tall T-shaped pillars stood facing one another, forming peaceful ceremonial spaces. No one knows exactly what happened there. Perhaps people gathered to celebrate, to remember, to observe the changing seasons, or simply to share stories beneath the stars. Some mysteries remain beautifully unanswered. Even more remarkable, the people who built Göbekli Tepe later buried much of it themselves. They carefully filled the enclosures with soil and stone, protecting them. Without realizing, they were preserving this extraordinary place for thousands of years. Today, Göbekli Tepe stands quietly once again, not as a forgotten hill, but as one of humanity's oldest known monuments. Its silent pillars remind us that history still holds countless secrets, waiting patiently beneath our feet. As centuries slowly passed, new civilizations appeared. Some built vast cities beside powerful rivers. Others carved magnificent temples into mountains. Our next journey takes us south to the fertile valleys, where one of the world's first great civilizations quietly emerged. The Indus Valley civilization. Thousands of years quietly passed. The world slowly changed. Small villages expanded. Trade routes grew longer. Communities became cities. And along the banks of a mighty river, one of history's most remarkable civilizations quietly flourished. Welcome to the Indus Valley civilization. Around 5,000 years ago, across parts of what are now Pakistan and northwestern India, thousands of people lived in carefully planned cities. Unlike many ancient kingdoms, there is little evidence of enormous palaces or towering statues of powerful rulers. Instead, the cities themselves reveal something extraordinary. They were designed for everyday life. One of the greatest cities was Mohenjo-Daro. Its name means Mound of the Dead. Today, its quiet brick streets stretch beneath the warm sun. But thousands of years ago, these streets were full of gentle activity. Merchants opened their shops. Children played nearby. Craftsmen shaped pottery. Families prepared meals. Life unfolded at a peaceful rhythm. What surprises modern visitors is how organized the city was. Wide streets crossed one another almost perfectly. Neighborhoods were carefully arranged. Buildings followed consistent patterns. Even after thousands of years, the city's thoughtful design still impresses engineers today. Nearly every home had access to fresh water. Many contained private wells. Some even had bathing rooms. Water flowed through carefully constructed drains, covered with stone slabs. These drainage systems carried wastewater away from homes, keeping the streets remarkably clean. Few ancient civilizations achieved sanitation on such an impressive scale. Bricks formed nearly every structure, each one made to almost exactly the same size. This remarkable consistency suggests that skilled builders followed shared standards across many different cities. Order seems to have been deeply valued. The civilization stretched across an enormous region, much larger than ancient Egypt, larger than Mesopotamia. Hundreds of towns and cities were connected through trade, craftsmanship, and shared traditions. Though separated by great distances, they remained surprisingly similar. Merchants traveled peacefully between settlements. They traded beads, cotton cloth, copper tools, precious stones, and beautifully carved seals. Some goods even reached distant Mesopotamia. thousands of kilometers away. Long before modern transportation, people maintained international trade networks. Through patience, planning, and determination, one of the civilization's greatest mysteries is its writing. Thousands of tiny symbols appear on stone seals, pottery, and small objects. Some resemble animals. Others are simple geometric marks. Yet despite decades of study, no one has confidently deciphered the script. The voices of the Indus people remain silent. Their words still waiting to be understood. Another mystery is leadership. Unlike many ancient civilizations, there are few signs of mighty kings or grand royal tombs. No massive statues proclaiming victories. No monuments celebrating emperors. Some historians wonder whether power was shared differently here. Perhaps communities worked together through cooperation rather than absolute rule. The evidence leaves room for quiet imagination. Then, slowly, the civilization began to change. Rivers shifted their courses. Some regions became drier. Trade gradually declined. Cities were slowly abandoned. Families moved elsewhere. Brick by brick, the bustling streets fell silent. Nature patiently reclaimed the land. For thousands of years, the cities rested beneath layers of dust. Their carefully built walls, their wells, their workshops, all quietly preserved beneath the earth. When archaeologists uncovered them, they revealed not only an ancient civilization, but a reminder that even the greatest cities can eventually become quiet memories. As the centuries continued, new cultures rose across distant lands. Some built enormous pyramids. Others carved temples into cliffs. Our next journey takes us to a civilization that left behind mysterious stone heads, hidden within the lush forests of ancient Mexico. The Olmec civilization awaited. The world continued to change. New civilizations quietly appeared, each leaving behind its own unique story. Across the warm lands of southern Mexico, another remarkable culture slowly emerged. Today, we know them as the Olmecs. The Olmec civilization flourished nearly 3,000 years ago, long before the Aztecs, and centuries before the Maya reached their greatest heights. Because of their early influence, many historians gently refer to them as the mother culture of Mesoamerica. Their ideas, their craftsmanship, and perhaps even their beliefs, would quietly shape civilizations that followed. The Olmecs lived among lush forests, slow-moving rivers, and fertile lowlands. The climate was warm. Heavy rains nourished the land. Towering trees stretched toward the sky. Colorful birds filled the air with soft calls. It was a landscape rich with life, and perfect for growing maize, beans, and squash. At the heart of their world, great ceremonial centers slowly rose. One of the most famous was San Lorenzo. Later, another important city, La Venta, became the center of Olmec life. These places were not only homes, but also gathering places, where communities came together for ceremonies, trade, and celebration. Today, the Olmecs are best remembered for something truly extraordinary. Massive stone heads, each carefully carved from enormous blocks of volcanic basalt. Some weigh more than 20 tons. Every face is different. Each carries its own quiet expression. Some appear calm. Others seem thoughtful, as if they are still watching. After thousands of years, the greatest mystery is how these stones reached their destinations. The nearest quarries were often many kilometers away, without wheels, without large draft animals. The Olmecs somehow transported these gigantic stones across rivers, through forests, and over difficult ground. Exactly how they achieved this remains one of archaeology's enduring questions. Their artists displayed remarkable skill. They carved delicate jade figurines, created polished stone masks, produced beautiful ceremonial objects with astonishing precision. Many pieces are surprisingly small, yet filled with intricate details that still impress modern craftsmen. Animals played an important role within Olmec art. The jaguar appeared again and again, strong, silent, and graceful. Some carvings combine human features with those of powerful animals. Their meanings have been debated for generations. Perhaps they represented myths, perhaps spiritual beliefs, or perhaps stories now forever lost. The Olmecs also understood astronomy. They carefully observed the movement of the sun, the moon, and the changing seasons. Like many ancient peoples, their survival depended upon understanding nature's rhythms. Planting, harvesting, rainfall. Everything followed the quiet cycle of the heavens above. Although no one knows exactly how Olmec society was organized, their monuments suggest that many people worked together. Large construction projects, carefully planned cities, and beautifully crafted artworks all required cooperation, patience, and shared purpose. Then, over many generations, their great ceremonial centers slowly declined. Some settlements were abandoned. Others became quieter. Nature gradually reclaimed the land. Dense forests spread across abandoned plazas. Tree roots gently embraced ancient stones. The civilization slowly disappeared, without leaving written explanations behind. For centuries, their monuments remained hidden beneath thick vegetation. Travelers occasionally discovered enormous stone faces, peering silently from the jungle. Only in modern times did archaeologists begin carefully uncovering the remarkable world the Olmecs had left behind. Today, their giant stone heads continue to inspire curiosity. They remind us that even civilizations without long written histories can leave unforgettable legacies, carved into stone, waiting patiently for future generations to discover. As centuries quietly passed, new kingdoms rose along distant coastlines. Our next journey takes us high into the Andes Mountains, where skilled builders created one of South America's earliest great civilizations, the Chavín civilization. The centuries continued to drift quietly onward. As old cultures faded, new ones slowly appeared. Far to the south, among the towering peaks of the Andes Mountains, another remarkable civilization quietly took shape. Today, we know them as the Chavín. More than 3,000 years ago, the Andes were already alive with travelers. Steep mountain paths connected distant valleys. Cold rivers flowed from snow-covered peaks. Thick clouds wrapped themselves around rocky cliffs. It was here, surrounded by dramatic landscapes, that the Chavín people created one of South America's earliest ceremonial centers. Their greatest achievement was a place now called Chavín de Huántar. Built high in the mountains, it became a destination for pilgrims who traveled from many different regions. Some walked for days, others for weeks. Each journey brought them closer to a place filled with mystery, stone architecture, and sacred traditions. The temple itself was unlike anything around it. Massive stone walls surrounded hidden chambers. Long corridors twisted through the interior. Narrow passageways led visitors deep beneath the ground. Without sunlight, only faint beams of light entered through carefully designed openings. The atmosphere was calm, cool, and wonderfully quiet. The builders displayed extraordinary engineering skills. Huge stone blocks fit together with remarkable precision. Drainage channels carried mountain water safely beneath the temple. Even during heavy rains, the complex remained protected. Some archaeologists believe the flowing water created deep echoing sounds that added to the spiritual experience of visitors. At the heart of the temple stood one of its greatest mysteries, a towering granite sculpture, known today as the Lanzan. Hidden deep within the dark interior, this carved stone figure remained unseen by most people. Its human features blended with those of powerful animals. Sharp feline teeth, flowing serpent-like hair, strong bird-like characteristics. Its meaning remains uncertain. The Chavín artists possessed remarkable imagination. Their stone carvings often combined humans, birds, jaguars, snakes, and eagles into beautifully detailed designs. Rather than showing ordinary life, their art explored ideas that may have connected nature, animals, and the spiritual world. Music also played an important role. Archaeologists have discovered beautifully crafted instruments made from seashells brought from the distant Pacific coast. These large shell trumpets, known as pututas, could produce deep, haunting sounds inside the narrow stone corridors. Their echoes would have filled the temple, creating an unforgettable experience. Although the Chavín lived high in the mountains, they traded with many distant communities. Colorful feathers arrived from tropical forests. Seashells came from the ocean. Fine stones traveled across great distances. Ideas moved alongside these valuable goods, connecting people from very different landscapes. Unlike many ancient civilizations, the Chavín left behind very little written information. Instead, their legacy survives through architecture, art, and carefully crafted stone monuments. Every carving offers small clues, yet many questions remain unanswered. Sometimes, silence itself becomes part of history. After many centuries, the importance of Chavín gradually declined. Pilgrims stopped arriving. Ceremonies became less frequent. The once busy temple slowly grew quiet. Wind, rain, and mountain mist patiently settled over the ancient stones. Nature gently reclaimed the sacred place. For nearly 2,000 years, the temple rested peacefully among the Andes, hidden beneath layers of earth. Its corridors waited in silence. When archaeologists finally uncovered the site, they revealed not only remarkable engineering, but one of South America's oldest ceremonial traditions. Today, the quiet stone passages of Chavín de Huántar still invite curiosity. They remind us that long before great empires ruled the Andes, another civilization had already mastered architecture, art, and the peaceful rhythm of mountain life. As time quietly moved forward, new kingdoms appeared across the Mediterranean. Our next journey takes us to a mysterious island civilization, whose colorful palaces, beautiful frescoes, and sudden disappearance continue to fascinate the world. The Minoan civilization awaited. Time continued its slow and peaceful journey. Civilizations quietly rose, while others slowly faded into memory. Far across the Atlantic, in the high valley of central Mexico, an extraordinary city began to emerge. Its builders created one of the largest urban centers the ancient Americas had ever seen. Today, we call it Teotihuacan. Long before the Aztecs arrived, Teotihuacan was already an ancient place. Its original name has been lost to time. The people who built it left behind no surviving written history to tell us what they called their magnificent city. Centuries later, the Aztecs discovered its silent ruins and gave it the name Teotihuacan. It means the place where the gods were born. Nearly 2,000 years ago, this was one of the largest cities on Earth. Its population may have reached more than 100,000 people. Wide streets stretched across the valley. Stone buildings stood in neat rows. Bustling marketplaces welcomed traders from distant regions. The city quietly became a center of culture, craftsmanship, and commerce. At the heart of the city lay an enormous avenue. Today, it is known as the Avenue of the Dead. Despite its mysterious name, it was once filled with everyday life. People walked along its broad stone pathway. Merchants carried goods. Children followed their families. Ceremonies gathered large crowds. The avenue connected the city's greatest monuments, like a peaceful spine running through its center, towering above everything else. stood the magnificent Pyramid of the Sun. Even today, it remains one of the largest pyramids ever constructed. Millions of stones, carefully placed by skilled workers, formed its massive shape. Without modern machinery, without steel cranes, they achieved something truly remarkable. Nearby, the Pyramid of the Moon watched over the northern end of the avenue. Smaller than its giant neighbor, yet equally graceful, it blended beautifully with the surrounding mountains. Its builders carefully aligned the monument so that nature and architecture appeared almost as one. The people of Teotihuacan were exceptional planners. The city streets followed an organized grid. Homes were grouped into neighborhoods. Many families lived in spacious apartment-style compounds, surrounding peaceful courtyards. These homes often housed multiple generations, sharing daily life together. Artists decorated walls with colorful murals. Bright images showed birds, flowers, flowing water, and symbolic figures. Unlike statues carved from stone, these paintings captured moments filled with movement and gentle beauty. Although many colors have faded, their elegance still survives. Trade brought prosperity. Obsidian, a beautiful volcanic glass, became one of the city's greatest treasures. Expert craftsmen shaped it into razor-sharp tools, carefully polished ornaments, and ceremonial objects. Merchants carried these valuable creations across much of ancient Mesoamerica. The city quietly became one of the region's most important trading centers. Yet, many mysteries remain. We do not know who ruled Teotihuacan. No grand royal tomb has ever revealed a famous king. No written records describe its leaders. Instead, the city itself quietly keeps its secrets. Every excavation answers one question, while gently creating several more. After centuries of prosperity, life slowly changed. Some neighborhoods were abandoned. Important buildings suffered damage. Trade declined. People gradually left the city. The reasons remain uncertain. Perhaps changing climates. Perhaps political unrest. Perhaps several quiet causes working together over many generations. History does not always leave clear explanations. Nature slowly reclaimed the valley. Grass covered the stone roads. Trees grew between ancient walls. The pyramids watched silently as centuries drifted past. When the Aztecs eventually arrived, they stood in awe, believing the city had been built by divine beings. Today, millions of visitors walk the Avenue of the Dead, following the same paths that countless ancient people once traveled. The Great Pyramids still rise toward the sky, not as symbols of conquest, but as peaceful reminders that even the grandest cities can eventually become quiet echoes within the passage of time. As another civilization gently fades into history, our next journey carries us deep into the green rainforests of Central America, where towering temples, mathematical genius, and one of history's most sophisticated civilizations, await us. The Maya civilization awaits. The centuries continued to pass. Across forests, mountains, and rivers, new civilizations quietly appeared. Deep within the tropical rainforests of Central America, one of history's most brilliant societies slowly flourished. Today, we know them as the Maya. The Maya lived across a vast region, covering parts of present-day Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. Rather than forming a single empire, they built many independent city-states. Each city had its own rulers, its own traditions, and its own remarkable achievements. Together, they created one of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world. Towering stone temples rose above the jungle canopy. Broad plazas welcomed merchants, artists, and travelers. Elegant palaces overlooked busy streets. From a distance, the cities appeared like islands of stone, surrounded by endless green forests. Morning mist drifted gently between the temples, creating peaceful scenes that still inspire visitors today. One of the greatest Maya cities was Tikal. Its soaring pyramids reached high above the trees. At sunrise, the calls of tropical birds echoed through the forest, just as they did more than 1,000 years ago. Standing there today, it is easy to imagine the quiet rhythm of ancient daily life. The Maya became extraordinary astronomers. Night after night, they carefully observed the sky. They tracked the movements of the sun, the moon, Venus, and countless stars. Their observations were so precise that they developed calendars of astonishing accuracy. Without telescopes, without modern technology, they patiently measured the heavens, using careful observation alone. Time held deep meaning. Within Maya society, their calendars recorded cycles of days, months, years, and even much longer periods. Many important ceremonies were planned according to these celestial rhythms. To the Maya, the sky above and life below were closely connected. The Maya also developed one of the most sophisticated writing systems in the ancient Americas. Their script combined beautiful symbols called glyphs, which recorded names, events, history, and royal families. Unlike many ancient scripts, much of Maya writing has now been successfully deciphered. After centuries of silence, many of their stories can finally be read once again. Mathematics also flourished. The Maya understood the concept of zero. This remarkable idea allowed them to perform complex calculations many centuries before it became common in other parts of the world. Simple dots and bars represented numbers, creating an elegant mathematical system that served both science and daily life. Farmers carefully adapted to the dense rainforest environment. They cultivated maize, beans, squash, cacao, and many other crops. Terraces, raised fields, and reservoirs helped communities manage water through changing seasons. Their understanding of nature allowed large populations to thrive for centuries. Trade connected distant Maya cities. Colorful feathers, jade, obsidian, salt, pottery, and cacao beans moved along busy trade routes. Ideas traveled alongside goods. Artists learned from distant craftsmen. Architects shared techniques. Knowledge quietly spread across the forests. Then, over many generations, something changed. Some great cities were slowly abandoned. Monuments were no longer raised. Palaces became quiet. Trees began growing between once busy plazas. Historians continue to study why this happened. Perhaps prolonged droughts, environmental pressures, political conflicts, or several challenges acting together. The answer remains beautifully complex. Yet, the Maya people did not disappear. Their descendants still live today, speaking Maya languages, preserving traditions, and continuing a cultural heritage that stretches back thousands of years. The ancient cities may have fallen silent, but the civilization itself lives on. Today, places like Tikal, Palenque, and Chichen Itza stand peacefully beneath the tropical sky. Their graceful temples, their carved inscriptions, and their remarkable understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and architecture continue to inspire people from every corner of the world. As our gentle journey continues, we now travel to one of the most isolated places on Earth, where enormous stone faces quietly gaze across the Pacific Ocean. Our next destination is the mysterious civilization of Easter Island. The world continued its slow and peaceful journey, far from crowded continents, far from busy trade routes. A small island rested quietly in the vast Pacific Ocean. It was one of the most isolated places where people had ever chosen to live. Today, we know it as Easter Island. Its original name, given by its people, is Rapa Nui. More than 1,000 years ago, skilled Polynesian navigators crossed thousands of kilometers of open ocean, using only the stars, the waves, the winds, and the flight of birds. They found this tiny volcanic island. Even today, their incredible voyages remain among the greatest achievements in the history of human exploration. The island itself was peaceful and beautiful. Rolling green hills, volcanic craters, rocky cliffs, and endless views of the sea surrounded every direction. Freshwater was limited. Resources were precious. Every tree, every stone, every harvest mattered deeply. Over generations, the people of Rapa Nui developed a unique culture. They built villages along the coast, fished in the surrounding ocean, cultivated sweet potatoes, bananas, and taro. Families lived close to the sea, while honoring their ancestors through remarkable works of stone. Those stone monuments became known as the Moai. Today, they are among the world's most recognizable archaeological treasures. Some stand only a few meters tall. Others rise over 10 meters, weighing more than 80 tons. Each one carefully carved from volcanic rock, with extraordinary patience. Most of the Moai were created at a volcanic quarry called Reino Raraku. There, hundreds of unfinished statues still rest quietly, exactly where ancient craftsmen left them. Some remain partially carved from the mountainside, offering a peaceful glimpse into the process that shaped these remarkable figures. Each Moai represented an important ancestor. Rather than simply decorating the landscape, they symbolized memory, family, and respect for those who came before. Most statues faced inland, looking toward the villages, as though quietly watching over the generations that followed. One of history's greatest mysteries is how these enormous statues were moved. Without modern machinery, without large animals, the people somehow transported stones weighing many tons across uneven volcanic ground. Researchers have proposed many ideas: wooden sleds, rolling logs, carefully balanced ropes. Some modern experiments even suggest that the statues may have been gently walked forward while standing upright. The exact methods continue to inspire curiosity. The people also demonstrated remarkable engineering skills. Massive stone platforms, known as ahu, were carefully constructed to support the statues. Each platform was built with impressive precision, allowing the Moai to stand securely for centuries. Life on such a remote island required careful balance. The island's forests provided wood, shelter, canoes, and fuel. Over many generations, these valuable resources gradually declined. Scientists continue to study how environmental change, human activity, and shifting conditions affected life on Rapa Nui. Like many ancient stories, the full picture is still being carefully understood. Centuries later, European explorers reached the island on Easter Sunday in the year 1722. The name Easter Island came from that first recorded European arrival. By then, many of the island's greatest traditions had already changed. Yet the silent Moai continued watching over the landscape, just as they had for generations. Today, the great stone figures remain, standing peacefully beneath open skies. Their calm expressions, their quiet strength, and their enduring mystery remind us that even on one of Earth's most remote islands, people created lasting works of extraordinary imagination, skill, and devotion. As the centuries quietly moved forward, our next journey takes us high into the mountains of South America, where breathtaking stone terraces, cloud-covered peaks, and one of history's greatest engineering achievements await us. The Inca civilization awaits. The world continued its quiet passage through time. Empires rose, kingdoms flourished, and distant cultures shaped the lands around them. High above the clouds, among the towering Andes Mountains, another remarkable civilization quietly emerged. Today, we know them as the Inca. The Inca homeland stretched across western South America, covering parts of present-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina, and Colombia. At its greatest extent, their empire became the largest in the history of the Americas. Yet unlike many great empires, its story lasted for only a few centuries. Life in the Andes was never simple. Steep mountains rose toward the sky. Deep valleys divided the landscape. Snow-covered peaks overlooked fertile terraces. Every journey required patience. Every harvest demanded skill. Yet the Inca learned not to fight the mountains, but to live alongside them. One of their greatest achievements was agriculture. Rather than farming only on flat land, they carefully carved enormous terraces into the mountainsides. These stone platforms reduced erosion, captured water, and created fertile fields where crops could flourish. Even today, many of these terraces remain in use. The Inca grew potatoes, maize, quinoa, and many other crops. Different elevations allowed different plants to thrive. Communities shared harvests, helping one another through changing seasons. Their understanding of mountain environments allowed millions of people to live successfully in one of Earth's most challenging landscapes. The empire was connected by an extraordinary road system. More than 40,000 kilometers of carefully built roads crossed mountains, bridged rivers, and linked distant cities. Stone stairways climbed steep cliffs. Suspension bridges, woven from strong plant fibers, spanned deep canyons. Messengers, known as chasquis, ran these routes every day, carrying news, supplies, and important messages. Although the Inca never developed a traditional writing system, they created an ingenious method for recording information. It was called the quipu. Bundles of colored cords, carefully tied with different knots, recorded numbers, supplies, taxes, and perhaps even historical events. Exactly how much information these knotted cords contained is still being studied today. At the center of the empire stood the magnificent city of Cusco. Beautiful stone buildings lined its streets. temples, homes, and public spaces were constructed with astonishing precision. The stone blocks fit together so perfectly that even today, many joints remain almost impossible to slide a knife blade between. No mortar was needed, only extraordinary craftsmanship. Far above the sacred valley, another masterpiece quietly rested. Its name is Machu Picchu. Hidden among mist-covered mountains, the city remained unknown to the outside world. For centuries, stone terraces followed the natural curves of the mountains. Elegant temples, peaceful courtyards, and carefully designed homes blended beautifully with the surrounding landscape. It feels less like a city and more like part of the mountain itself. The Inca deeply respected nature. Mountains, known as Apis, were believed to possess spiritual importance. The sun, rivers, and fertile land were honored through ceremonies that reflected gratitude rather than ownership. For the Inca, the natural world and human life were closely connected. Then, during the 16th century, great change arrived. Foreign explorers entered the Andes. New diseases spread rapidly. Political struggles weakened the empire. Within only a few decades, the once powerful civilization was transformed forever. Its cities grew quieter. Its traditions adapted to an entirely new world. Yet the legacy of the Inca never disappeared. Their descendants still live throughout the Andes. Ancient farming methods, traditional weaving, native languages, and mountain communities continue to preserve many elements of this remarkable civilization. Today, Machu Picchu stands peacefully above the clouds. Morning mist drifts gently between its ancient stone walls. Visitors from around the world pause in quiet admiration, not simply because of its beauty, but because it reminds us that patience, skill, and harmony with nature can create wonders that endure for centuries. As our peaceful journey through history continues, we now travel to the deserts of North Africa, where colossal statues, hidden tombs, and timeless pyramids await us. Our next destination is the civilization of ancient Egypt. The gentle rhythm of history continued. Across mountains, forests, and distant seas, great civilizations quietly rose. Along the fertile banks of one remarkable river, another extraordinary society flourished. For more than 3,000 years. Today, we know it as Ancient Egypt. Every year, the mighty Nile River overflowed its banks. Its waters spread rich, dark soil across the surrounding land. When the floods gently receded, farmers planted their crops. The harvests were plentiful. Villages prospered. Generations came and went, following the peaceful rhythm of the river. To the ancient Egyptians, The Nile was not simply water. It was life itself. As villages grew, they became towns. Towns became cities. Temples rose toward the bright desert sky. Stone monuments appeared along the riverbanks. For thousands of years, Egypt remained one of the most stable civilizations the world had ever known. At the heart of Egyptian society stood the pharaoh. More than a king, the pharaoh was believed to maintain harmony between the people, the land, and the gods. Each new ruler inherited not only a kingdom, but also the responsibility of preserving order for future generations. Perhaps no structures symbolize ancient Egypt more than its pyramids. The largest, the Great Pyramid of Giza, was built nearly 4,500 years ago. Even today, it remains one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements. Millions of carefully shaped limestone blocks were placed, one by one, with extraordinary precision. Without cranes, without engines, workers accomplished something truly remarkable. For centuries, people wondered how such enormous monuments were built. Modern archaeology suggests that thousands of skilled workers, rather than enslaved laborers, organized carefully, using ramps, sleds, and remarkable teamwork. Every stone represented patience, planning, and dedication. Beside the pyramids rests another famous guardian, the Great Sphinx, carved from a single mass of limestone. Its calm face and powerful body have quietly watched over the desert for thousands of years. Wind has shaped its surface, sand has buried it, and revealed it again countless times. Yet it continues to gaze silently toward the rising sun. The Egyptians also became masters of writing. Their beautiful hieroglyphs covered temple walls, tombs, and monuments. Birds, animals, plants, and elegant symbols combine to tell stories, record history, and honor the gods. For many centuries, their meaning was forgotten. Only after the discovery of the Rosetta Stone did scholars slowly unlock the language of ancient Egypt. Once again, voices silent for nearly 2,000 years could finally be heard. Life along the Nile was filled with skilled craftsmen, stone carvers, potters, goldsmiths, weavers, farmers, boat builders. Each played an important role within Egyptian society. Markets welcomed merchants. Children learned trades from their families. Temples became centers of both worship and community life. The Egyptians believed deeply in life beyond death. Rather than seeing death as an ending, they viewed it as the beginning of another journey. Because of this belief, great care was taken to preserve the body. The practice of mummification allowed loved ones to be prepared carefully for the next world. Tombs were filled with food, tools, clothing, and treasured possessions meant to accompany them on that peaceful journey across the Valley of the Kings, hidden deep within desert cliffs. Beautiful tombs were carved into solid rock. Their walls, covered with colorful paintings, remain astonishingly vibrant today. Scenes of daily life, stars, boats, flowers, and peaceful landscapes still decorate these quiet chambers. After more than 3,000 years, like every civilization, Egypt also changed. Foreign kingdoms arrived. Dynasties rose and fell. New ideas spread across the land. Eventually, ancient Egypt became part of larger empires. Its great age slowly came to an end. Yet its monuments, its knowledge, and its remarkable achievements never disappeared. Today, the pyramids continue to stand against the desert horizon. The Nile still flows quietly, just as it did thousands of years ago. And every sunrise over the golden sands reminds us that some stories never truly fade. They simply wait patiently for new generations to discover them once again. As our peaceful journey through forgotten civilizations continues, we now travel east, between the great rivers, where humanity built some of its very first cities, invented writing, and laid the foundations of civilization itself. Our next destination is Mesopotamia. Our journey now carries us to a land unlike any other, not surrounded by oceans or protected by mountains, but resting peacefully between two mighty rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. For thousands of years, their seasonal floods brought life to the surrounding plains. Here, one of humanity's very first civilizations quietly began. The ancient Greeks later called this land Mesopotamia. It simply means the land between the rivers. More than 6,000 years ago, small farming villages began to grow. Families cultivated wheat, barley, dates, and vegetables. As harvests became more reliable, villages expanded into towns. Towns slowly became cities. Before long, places such as Uruk and Babylon were thriving centers of human life. Among them, Uruk became one of the world's first true cities. Thousands of people lived within its walls. Markets welcomed traders. Craftsmen shaped pottery. Builders raised temples. Life became more organized than ever before. For perhaps the first time in history, people experienced what we would now recognize as urban civilization. As cities grew larger, new challenges appeared. How could merchants keep track of grain, livestock, and trade? How could rulers record agreements? How could stories survive? Long after they were spoken, the answer changed history forever. Writing. The people of Mesopotamia developed one of the world's earliest writing systems. It became known as cuneiform. Using a sharpened reed, scribes pressed tiny wedge-shaped marks into soft clay tablets. Once dried, those tablets became remarkably durable. Thousands still survive today. Because of them, voices from 5,000 years ago can still be heard. These clay tablets recorded laws, business transactions, poetry, mathematics, astronomy, and everyday life. Some contain shopping lists. Others describe harvests. Some tell ancient stories, passed from one generation to the next. History was no longer remembered only through memory. It could now be written. Towering above many cities stood enormous temples, called ziggurats, built in massive stepped layers. They rose high above the surrounding landscape. People climbed broad staircases to reach sacred spaces near the summit. From below, these structures dominated the skyline, reminding everyone of the close relationship between the heavens and the earth. The people also became skilled astronomers. Night after night, they carefully observed the stars and planets. They noticed repeating patterns, tracked eclipses, and divided time into units that still influence us today. The 60-minute hour and the 60-second minute both trace their origins to ancient Mesopotamia. Quiet ideas that still shape modern life. Trade flourished. Boats traveled along the rivers. Caravans crossed the deserts. Copper, timber, stone, textiles, and precious goods moved between distant kingdoms. The rivers became peaceful highways, connecting countless communities. One of Mesopotamia's greatest legacies was its system of laws. Around 3,800 years ago, King Hammurabi ordered a collection of laws to be carved into a tall stone monument, known today as the Code of Hammurabi. It became one of history's earliest written legal codes. Not every law seems fair by modern standards. Yet the idea that laws should be publicly written, rather than secretly remembered, was an important step toward organized society. Like every great civilization, Mesopotamia also experienced change. Floods altered river courses. Empires rose. Empires fell. New kingdoms replaced older ones. Cities that once echoed with busy marketplaces slowly became quiet ruins. Wind carried fine desert sand through empty streets where thousands had once lived. Today, archaeologists continue to uncover clay tablets, broken pottery, ancient homes, and forgotten temples hidden beneath the earth. Each discovery adds another small piece to humanity's earliest story. Mesopotamia reminds us That civilization itself began not with enormous monuments, but with ordinary people, working together, building communities, and quietly shaping the future of the world. As our peaceful journey nears its end, we travel one final time to a civilization whose philosophers, artists, and thinkers would leave ideas that still influence our world today. Our final destination is ancient Greece. Our final journey takes us across the calm blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea. Here, between rugged mountains, quiet olive groves, and sheltered harbors, another remarkable civilization slowly flourished. Today, we know it as ancient Greece. Unlike many great civilizations, ancient Greece was not a single kingdom. Instead, it was made up of many independent city-states. Each had its own government, its own traditions, and its own way of life. Some became famous for trade, others for learning, others for military strength. Together, they created a civilization whose ideas would travel far beyond their shores. One of the most well-known cities was Athens. Perched upon a rocky hill stood the magnificent Acropolis. From its summit, visitors could look across the surrounding countryside, all the way to the sparkling sea. The city below buzzed with merchants, craftsmen, teachers, and travelers. Ideas flowed as freely as goods in the marketplace. Nearby, citizens gathered in open public spaces called the Agora. Here, people bought food, sold pottery, shared news, and discussed questions about life, justice, and society. Conversation itself became one of ancient Greece's greatest traditions. The Greeks valued curiosity. Rather than accepting every answer, they often asked another question. This simple habit helped shape philosophy. Thinkers such as Socrates encouraged people to explore ideas carefully through thoughtful conversation. His student, Plato, recorded many of these discussions. Later, Plato's student, Aristotle, studied nearly every subject imaginable, from animals and plants to ethics, politics, and astronomy. Their writings continue to influence learning. Even today, the Greeks also celebrated beauty through architecture. One of their greatest achievements was the Parthenon, built atop the Acropolis. Its graceful columns, carefully balanced proportions, and elegant simplicity have inspired architects for more than 2,000 years. Many government buildings, museums, and universities around the world still reflect its timeless design. The ancient Greeks loved stories. Poets shared epic tales of courageous heroes, long journeys, and distant lands. These stories were passed from generation to generation, before eventually being written down. Whether entirely historical, partly remembered, or richly imagined, they became an important part of Greek culture. Sport also held a special place within Greek society. Every 4 years, athletes traveled to the sanctuary of Olympia. There, they competed, not for money, but for honor. Running, wrestling, throwing the discus, racing chariots. The Olympic Games brought together people from many different city-states in peaceful competition, a tradition that continues. Thousands of years later, Greek sailors explored the Mediterranean and beyond. They established new settlements, shared knowledge, and connected distant communities through trade. Olive oil, wine, pottery, and finely crafted goods traveled across the sea, carrying Greek culture to many shores. Like every civilization, ancient Greece also changed. Some city-states became rivals. Wars were fought. Alliances shifted. Eventually, new kingdoms rose to power. Later still, the expanding Roman Empire absorbed Greece into a much larger world. Its political independence faded, but its ideas continued to spread. Philosophy, mathematics, science, literature, architecture, drama. Many of these traditions continued through later civilizations, eventually shaping the modern world. Sometimes, a civilization's greatest legacy is not the buildings it leaves behind, but the ideas that continue long after the stones have weathered away. Today, visitors walk quietly among the marble columns of the Acropolis. Soft breezes drift across ancient ruins. Olive trees still grow beneath the Mediterranean sun. And the questions, once asked by curious thinkers, continue to inspire new generations to observe, to wonder, and to learn. Our gentle journey through forgotten civilizations now comes to a peaceful close. Across thousands of years, we have wandered through ancient temples, silent cities, mist-covered mountains, quiet deserts, and forgotten kingdoms. Though these civilizations faded, their stories remain, patiently waiting for anyone willing to pause and listen. Thank you for joining this quiet journey through history. Sleep peacefully, and until our next adventure, good night.